Fire, what you saying?
Yes, fire key, give thanks to life as always, you know?
Serious thing. We are here again, Baldhead and the Dread. Have to remind the people all about Chant Down Baltimore, June 25th, Carroll Park. Benefit concert, free to get in, only with the donation. Live on stage, Freddie McGregor, Ibamar, Autarchii, Jerry Harris, Ancient Prophet. I will be there. Also, make sure you check out the Generation Get Riddim. And I want to say we give thanks for all the support we've been getting there at the Generation Get Riddim from listeners, sound people, DJs, and everyone in between. Tunes there from the one, Mudaruka, Autarchii, Luton Fire, and Imaru Tafari. Also, do remember, if you didn't, I didn't say listen, right? I'm saying if you didn't purchase. I never said listen, Fire. I said if you didn't purchase my brethren EP Disrupting the Status Quo co-host of Boy, because it come like some confusion, Fire. It come like people can't put two and two together. That's what I'm noticing. The man sitting right here, and you see the man right there in the video, and they can't put it together. But the brethren that sing the song at the end of all the videos, co-host of Baldhead and the Dread, the Ross, the Dread Autarchii, for any clarification. I don't know how else to clarify this thing, Fire, because pure confusion. Brethren got a blazing EP there, Disrupting the Status Quo. The link has been in the description. If you have not purchased the thing, make sure you purchase it. You may have listened to it somewhere. Even if you stream it, we give thanks same way, but this is something you need to purchase. Support the brethren in his work. Fire, what we're reasoning about today?
Well, you know, system rough right I know. I realize certain patterns. So we want to talk about inflation itself. And we even want to go into the whole topic of financial freedom, because as some touchy topic, you know, but we feel like say as something we're necessary to talk about, and people need to self-reflect in regards to where they are at financially right now and how them are operating in them life and how it affects certain things. So I gotta break down the thing.
All right, well, let me just put this out there. Fire, you saw my car. I have a Toyota Camry, right? I have a Toyota Camry, nice car. It don't really take up that much gas. So usually that car, I mean on E, when the light come on, when it kind of you get a little shaky, say I went past the point where I need to go to the gas station. I'm usually at $29, $35. I filled it up yesterday. Gas was at $4.95 where I live. It was $71, $70 and some change. Right. So it's like I left the receipt in the car because I wanted to show you. But that's basically a 50% increase in regards to what I was paying. Right. Now, the issue people are running into, and I think things are getting a little tricky because people that's kind of financially stable that I know, and you know, have certain things going, they ball and saying how things got tight because everything is jumped. I have seen products in the supermarket, and if I had time and I wasn't so busy, I should have taped it. I literally saw it increase day by day in front of me. There's an item I used to purchase was at like $4.50, but now it's at like $6.35. And this is a matter of this year alone. This is not going back. Some, you know, certain things you buy consistently, so you're aware of the price. You know, so like we have a situation now where maybe some people getting a raise too. So I just want to be clear in regards to we need to stop using the minority as an example for what's happening towards the majority, because that's the game that they play, and they like to play it in conversations and statistics to justify things. Yes, there may be a group of people in America who are receiving raises for whatever reason, performances, tenure, this and that. We are talking about majority of people, Fire, where that income is locked in. And unfortunately, that income is an hourly wage. And as we know, hourly wages get the highest form of taxation. And I don't want to say the highest form, but they get a disproportionate amount of taxation for what they're getting in. And that is stagnant. So a person who was struggling in 2020, because I saw, let me tell you, they be lying with these statistics, yo. Check this. I saw an article. I remember this clearly. I saw an article. It was saying, this was during the pandemic still, so maybe it's kind of distorted, but it was saying 82% of Americans, this was 2020, 82% of Americans are living check to check. All right. Now I see one in March 3rd, 2022, they saying 70% now of Americans living check to check. But how the amount drop when everything has increased so much? You know,
and that from the same particular people take the survey, or is that different?
I didn't see the source of the survey, but the source of the publication is the same. So I don't know if they're using a different company in regards to the survey, doing the research, but the source, the people that publish is the same company.
I mean, I need statistics for telling me
it's
say that
like
false. No, I need statistics to tell me that false because
hold on,
we really,
fire, hold that argument. I just
Go
want
on.
to add one more part. They have a graph here. I don't know if you share the screen, but it's basically saying um they're saying the average income in America to be sufficient now, right? Is 75,119. But they're saying it's 30,000 lower than the average income. Could average income around? I thought it was around 50, tell you the truth, but what they're saying it's around 45 grand. So obviously it's already a disparity. I just want to know how like um people are surviving. That's why we always preach you can't have one source of income. I learned this from early. You gotta have money coming from north, east, west, and south consistently, especially when you're in America. You have to. So I know that's where you're gonna go. I don't know how people are surviving, fire. Personally, I don't know how people are surviving.
I want to tell you, say, this whole thing is a trick, because if you realize all the system set up and design, them give a lot of different props and tell you a lot of things where gonna make you feel good, but nothing at all ever take inflation into account, Can you check it now? You have like the workplaces, them where them have them merit increase and thing based on the standard of living and all of them something there. But them now show you say the paycheck where you are get the behind the way how things set in a society, So even when them say them a boost you up 5%, 6%, them still not live up to the standard, because remember, if things raise on a level like that, I said, there I go see I'll guess a 50%. You're going to a certain store, you see a certain food, 25% increase, but yet still you get a merit increase now from your work for 6%. Tell me now, how the percentage increase there fall in line? The saturation curve practically insufficient because yes,
No, fire. I just wanted to add there's really no increase because if you have a salary, right? You have your gross and your net, right? I know people deal with gross in their mind. I don't know for whatever reason. I don't know why they don't. I don't understand it because you're not getting it. So I don't know how they on this gross vibe. It's net after everything is reduced, right? But after everything's reduced, aren't you like 30% down on your gross, depending on your family situation and healthcare, up to 40% down? So if you're already under the standard of living based on your income, right? Then knock that down to 28, 35, 40%, depending on your situation. Everybody's different. Even with a 5% increase, you would still be 40%, 30%, 45% lower than the standard of living. So like even if they boosted, even if your employer did say, hey, you know what, standard of living things went up 7%, we're going to increase your salary by 7%. You're still down after taxes. Because they're giving you 77% based on, so basically if you make $100, they're going to give you $7 more. But it's like that's still going to get knocked off to 25, 28, 30% for taxes, including healthcare, depending on your healthcare situation. So right now, it's like they're setting the people up for failure because obviously I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and the big thing right now, as we all know, is that, and I would appreciate if someone could put a chat to their explanation where people are working, because everyone I speak to say they can't find an employee. I know a couple of people that just close shop because they can't deal with the inconsistency of holding employees. Now we have this gig economy, right? That's the new thing everybody's saying with the gig economy. And that's not adding up because in order to meet your needs, unless you're just doing without fully, wouldn't you have to work more anyway? I guess because you get to work on your own terms. That's the whole thing. But wouldn't you end up working more anyway? Because the people that I've spoken to or that I know that do Uber, they work crazy hours to make a living. So it's not like they home sitting, drinking martinis, smoking weed, watching TV. They out there working and hustling. Yeah, they may not have a full blown overseer over them or, that manager or be a micromanage, but they really have to be out there hustling to generate that money. And no money is generated unless they're in the car driving people around. So it come like it don't add up because I thought the whole point of this gig economy was this freedom and this flexibility, but there is no flexibility because you're getting paid $15, $20 an hour. after taxes. So what's that? Say y'all $14 an hour come down to $13, depending, $15. Right. Yo, how much hours you gotta do? Right. Let me do some math real quick, yo. Say what you guys say, yo. Let me do some math real quick and figure this one out. Because if you gotta come up with 75 grand, right?
And I want to tell you, say it not even have to, we not even have to break it down so if you even like have the exact figure neither, you know. But it's just the concept where inflation is really a scam, you know. Because if you think about it, you know, majority of these companies, the way how them get them raw materials, them purchase all of these things in a bulk. Or if I any services or any farmer resources, see, them purchase these farmer things in a bulk. These bulk item really change price, you know, based on where them I get it from directly, you know, because it's between one corporation to the next corporation, you know, them just get that resource from that place. It barely raise when them increase all of these price now. It's a full blown scam because them increase the price, telling us for them costs gone up, whether it be production costs, operation costs, all of these things. But it don't really gone up none at all, you know. Them just know that them have all of these processes in place, and because it's a whole bureaucracy, them have means can tell us that it gone up from this particular angle. So them have to reflect that in the price. But then you get to realize say inflation show you some money is a joke, you know. Money is a joke and it can show you up on your face anytime. You remember a reason we would do it. Remember a particular reason we would do it, Dr. Knife. A good while forward, them I tell about reparations. And him say one of the first questions him asked the committee when them tell him say them want him be a part of the committee was, are we thinking of getting reparations or payment back from all of these enslavers in cash? And him say yes. And him say him don't want to be a part of the committee because him overstand what inflation do and the scam will come with inflation. Because a man can tell us now the way how them deal with monetary system, you know. A man can tell us you get $20 million. In 2008, $20 million could have buy 3 hours. But if you think about it, in a 2022 compared to 2008, $20 million good can only give you one if you really think about it. Just a random figure thrown out there, so no one nobody take that direct. But it does show you say the value of things in that particular time to this particular time due to how inflation set. It not gonna make no sense because if you tell me say you give me $20 million, but you choose to come with inflation and spike up the price of every single thing now. Me now, the back at point A, I'm never move towards point B, but just a mental state. I think I move to point B because I see $20 million, but is $20 million worth the same thing? So them type of illusion I realize the whole corporation, them, the whole financial system set upon the people and play upon the people and have the people more in a sufferation and make inflation have this major impact on them life by scamming the people them legally fire.
Serious word sound fire. And I just want to say, if you're making $15 an hour, I think you got to work out 100 hours a week to kind of make that little livable area, right? If you have kids and all that. So people crying about the 40 hours. So I guess because you could drive when you want to drive the 100 hours, don't stress you out that much. I guess that's the theory. Back to what you were saying in regards to money not holding its value and the buying power. And that's why it's so important to have assets. But that leads me to another thing in regards to this myth of financial freedom, right? I hear it all the time, and it's like sickening to me in the sense that it's like the workout industry. What do you call it? I don't know, health industry, in the sense that they're selling a product that most people would never benefit from. And the people out here who are speaking about financial freedom, their financial freedom is based on you buying their product, right? They themselves, because I don't know where this idea came from. I don't know if it's movies or cartoons. I don't know where people think you're going to get some lump sum of money and be on some beach chilling. Like, it don't work like that, because the more things you have, the more pressure, the more stress, because you have to maintain it. You have to do things to make sure it doesn't slip away, because it's easy to get the money, but it's hard to keep it. Now, I just want to put something out there in all reality. If you have a business that's thriving and doing very well, especially in these modern times, the technology will change, the industry will change. So you yourself have to evolve and change everything. So just because something worked in 1995 doesn't mean it worked in 2000 or 2005 or 2010. Look at the music industry, right? They were selling physical records. You went from physical records to what they call high bias cassette tapes. Then from cassette tapes, we went to CDs. Everything's changed now because when we went to CDs to downloads to streaming, it's a totally different industry. You may have had 10 Tower Records and all these different record stores. You may have had a flourishing record company with record stores all across the country. Obviously, you have to close shop, right, and go with the new technology to thrive. So that's the thing. That's more work, right? That's more evolution. That's more energy you got to put into the thing. Then people don't understand all the lawsuits that businesses goes through. We live in a society where people love to prey on those with stuff, whether it's bad business deals or people just with all type of BS. So the litigation aspect is very stressful. But there's no, I don't know. I don't know if it's the movies or this and that, but I brought that up to say this: financial freedom for the average American is just a myth. It's just an idea. It's not a reality. You know, between resources people have, access to power, their social network. A lot of people, their circle is very circle's not that strong, right? They don't have access to certain resources, both financial and mental, to do certain things. Obviously, we know about work ethic and all. The average person has no place being in business. All entrepreneurs, especially serious entrepreneurs, we have different type of entrepreneurs. We have your social media entrepreneurs who speak about it. You have your other social entrepreneur who speaks about it, like I have a shop, this and that. I look like an entrepreneur. You have entrepreneurs who are very a different type of strong person, because every day there's a new obstacle to conquer. Every day there's something new. If you work at your job and the copy machine breaks, right? I guess there's a person that deals with that, and it's like whatever. When you are the owner and you're the person at the place, you're responsible for that. There's no one to run to. There's no one to help you. So these people with this everything's no, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's for a very small portion of people. Many try it, very few get through, because it's a very rough thing to do. Because initially you'll be your only employee, maybe a lady, if she give you strength, then hopefully you could hire one person. But to build it on scale and grow is a rare occurrence, and it's a rare human being that could do it. And then we have to factor in the sacrifices that you make. Don't think you're gonna have this flourishing business and have a family. And can't no man tell me that work. So I don't want to hear nobody and no comment in that. Because if you're talking, you haven't experienced and you haven't seen it firsthand. Because the amount of energy and time you have to put into that craft and dedication for that thing to work, you don't have time for nothing else. So I don't care how a man want to take a picture with his family, this and that. That person, a female, is not there if they have a business. Unless it's something inherited or they've been doing it for a while where it's some balance there, they have the kids. For a business to be on the heights, you are fully committed to that business to work. And that's just the truth. So for my young entrepreneurs out there, if you want to do it, just understand that is what you do. That will be your life. That'll be your relationship. That'll be your nurturing. That'll be your mate, your business. Because everybody got this idea it's going to be one perfect world fight. Like you're going to be picking up kids from school and doing deals and flying across the world. It's just confusion because people telling them, and the people telling them that is not doing it. They're just trying to sell you a product so you can maintain their lifestyle, and they continue to lie to you. Hey, Fire, this is the last thing too. It vexed my spirit, tell you the truth. Y'all. Listen to this. Let me tell you the thing backwards. You're a music man, right? Grew up around music. You could tell me every single thing you did or a successful person did in music. I cannot mimic it because there's so many different circumstances that go into that thing working out, Fire. So it don't make logical sense to say, hey, you know what? This was my journey. This is what I did. You can listen to someone's journey in regards to explanations and certain aspects, but you can't mimic it because there's so many different factors, life, energy, frequency that go into it that it work for that person. That person's work ethic, that person's grit, that person's ability to deal with setbacks, that person's different abilities and characteristics that you may not have. So sorry to burst people bubble. I just want to clear the air on this. Everybody entrepreneur. How you, how you make no money? How you entrepreneur? You gonna call yourself the idea that generates no money? I don't care how you want to wear Gucci. I don't care what car you want to drive. Is it generating money? And if it is, respect to you. And everybody else, you need to stop lying and actually put in work to generate money. So the first year, oh, the biggest thing you hear about it, and you don't hear about it. And get quiet, and quiet. You don't hear nothing. Then the new ID pop up. You hear about it here, then you get quiet and quiet. And not to say if I take a lot of time and different things to do stuff, but people not doing this more talking. A man not on a daily grind working on a thing every day. Or you have your 9 to 5 and you're working on your craft. People talk about it, but they're not doing it. I'm a man that do it fight, so I can tell you straight how the grind go. But I balance out the thing. I'm a family man still, so I know already that there's certain limitations on what I'm going to accomplish because there's but so much time in today. And the way I balance out my thing is that a certain time goes towards the work, but I make sure I have time to deal with my lady and the youth. That's just my decision. Sorry, you get what I'm saying. I'm aware of that because that's just a realistic approach. There's certain things I'm just not going to do because it's a certain type of lifestyle I want with my family. But everybody in fantasy, they're not dealing with their family and they're not dealing with entrepreneurship. So I don't know what they're dealing with, right? But talking. Sorry for the rant, but it vexed my spirit with this whole everybody a business person, and they scared of their shadow fire. They don't want to do no risk or do nothing. But they a business person.
But our reality still, it's just era going now. The people them have to understand this thing now. You see, like having the freedom and the time if you can go pick up your youth and fly from this jet to that particular location and go sign deals and living the best life. Yeah, it's realistic, But here we are going now. It's realistic. So it's not say it don't realistic. It's just that right. If that's your starting point, that's fine. Cool. So that is your starting point. And if you go and draft one of them vision board there or something, how you get towards that point? What is the strategy we use to get towards that point? You can't tell me about the particular destination. It's like you want to tell me, say, yeah, man, you want to run 9.58, but you never really want to start off out of the blocks and build up to that or for the inner the race itself, but you just want to win. And that is where the problem really falls in. So it's not saying realistic, it's just as you're there, it's how much effort I really want to put towards this thing and how you gotta get towards it. Because when you think about strategy is not a normal thing, Strategy come with timeline. So that's the first thing we have to understand. If we say we have goals, we really want the people them check the reels in them. Because if you say we have goals, what is the timeline of the goals? See? And then we put the timeline to the goal, or you're going to accomplish these goals. And now we are talking about financial freedom. So we are talking about if you now have a set income and you want to go towards financial freedom, or are you going to cut back on particular expenses where you have right now so you can go invest in this business? And then when you think about that now, how much of that you're going to put towards savings or investment in regards to say you can have even a backup, so in case this thing don't work the right way, then you can put it back that way. If you not put all of them planned together, you have a key particular thing where I feel like people need to know, like is a must know if you want to go towards financial freedom. Not just thinking about it, if you want to act towards financial freedom. You have a thing called SWOT analysis. And it may seem simple, but I would advise anybody who thinks that they want to move towards financial freedom for understand what a SWOT analysis is. Your strengths. What is your strengths? So what realistically, I'm not talking about, oh yeah, man, I can do this, I can fly. No, we know so you can't fly. What are the strengths you have? What are the weaknesses? And in order to reach towards financial freedom, you have to acknowledge your weakness, because that is the main thing. My weakness is that I love to sleep at night. Not me, because that's like an example. I love to sleep at night. That's my weakness. Okay. All right. Omega scale back pan. If I can normally sleep for 9 hours, some of them 8 hours really it take for me refresh. Or I can scale back and use that additional hour to move towards my thing. So when I acknowledge the weakness, then you figure out how you have to work on it. And then you have a next thing, which is the O, which is the opportunities. What are the opportunities what I am pouncing and we can make some profits? Seen? And then you have the T now in this SWOT, which is the threats. What are the threats towards the market when I try to go in? Is the market a saturated market? And if it's not a saturated market and a market where only a few people in it because it's a relatively new industry, how do I become a forerunner in this industry or even a mid-runner? Because we can't think about the forerunner without becoming the mid-runner. You know? Or we'll come towards that. And so the timeline coming now and add towards the SWOT analysis, and then we can benefit with self now. So you see them little things there is where people start overlook. But them still the final goal, as I always tell them, nothing is wrong with that. Because I realize when time I start reason with them, realize that them like the partner first. Now, so because them like the partner fire, them like the local jet and them a nice life. Start from this. Yeah, it's possible. Because when they start tell them, say, sometimes realize or reasoning going there, tell them, say, no, you don't say a fairy tale thing. Them it's like them block out the whole reasoning and them say, what am I talk about? Even though you know so the reason where I come with right, you know. Them so we are talk about, man. No, man, the thing I can't set, man. What do you mean you can't set? So them say, no, all right, it could. This can't happen. So how it go happen? And then they start, so them start digging at them thought now. So them start from the end goal and now come to the beginning, and then them have a full journey. It's a backward journey still, but it's still a journey where them have to travel because them see what them want and understand how them are going to get to it, and now them can start actually put it in implementation. I just say I feel like enough people just missing fire. Like
No, fire, I want to say it's unrealistic. Reason is this. The perception that they have and the way they define it is unrealistic. They have this idea that they're going to generate this money and the work is going to be done. That's why I say it's unrealistic. And it is unrealistic for the average person to reach that type of heights. Now, only thing I didn't do earlier is kind of, we will have to define financial freedom. In a realistic context, financial freedom would be more where you don't have to deal with an employer that you don't want to deal with. You don't have to stay on a job that you don't want to stay on because you have resources, you have other money coming. I don't think you can have any form of financial freedom with one source of income. So therefore, you always have to be tweaking your skills, always have to be developing, reinvesting in yourself. If money is being generated, you would disperse in different ways, whether investing, and I want to say not day trading, not gambling, but actually investing, do your research, invest in yourself. Another big aspect of financial freedom is your health. You get what I'm saying? Because if your health did decline, that'd be a big lick on your finances, both in expenses and your ability to generate money. Another key aspect of financial freedom is your spouse. That's what people don't deal with. That's a big decision you have to make, because if you're with a significant other who has practices that's detrimental to you, your mental state, or your finances, it's going to be very hard for you to move forward on the heights and develop and grow so you can consistently generate money. So with the financial freedom, it being redefined would help. I think people need to move away from this. Yes, I'm just do whatever and I can consume, because it's really a consumption dream. It's a dream to consume whatever they want. That's all it comes down to, specifically European goods, which is a different topic, right? But that's really the vibe. But the financial freedom would be in a sense that you do have enough to deal with uncertainty and hard times. You do have enough there to pursue certain goals and certain investments. And as you stated before, it would take time to put yourself in that position. We need to move away from this lick idea that we're just going to get this lump sum of money. It's a grind. It's a patience. I always talk about the laws of nature. It's just a growth process. Yes, some people too, let's be clear. Some people may run into a situation where they're running money. Usually when you see it though, because they don't know how to deal with it, quickly goes away. You know what they say, a fool and his money will part ways. And that's reality, because you could get money, but if you don't know what to do with it, it's going to leave you. And they ain't going to find, money don't sign no divorce papers, they leave at night and they don't leave a letter, So I just wanted to clarify that in the sense that redefining what financial freedom looks like and the realities of it and the consistency that you have and the constant learning. You have to learn a lot. You have to learn and stay away from consuming, stay away from the insecurity of proving to people that you're making money, and take your money and put it back into yourself. As you consistently do that, because remember, by consistently do that, you'll have money set when things go wrong, which they will. So you'll be able to absorb those things and continue, and you'll be learning so much and your money will be growing, and you really will have money, and you'll be in a position to make so much more money, right? And you have more options for yourself, because money is options fire. Like all money does is bring options, whether I live here, I live here. My child goes to school here, child go to school here. When you don't have money, I have to live here because I have no other choice. I have to eat this because I have no other choice. I have to drive this because I have no other choice. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you need to drive a particular car. We were reasoning about this the other day, right? If you have bread, money's coming in, it's cool to have a $300 car a month and it's nice. You don't have to get the 15, 1700 because a $1,200 money that could be reinvested, could be stashed, could just put it somewhere with a little interest or just leave it to the side for a rainy day. But that's the next thing we need to talk about, that insecurity, because none of this stuff can take place with insecurity and your ego in there. Because while you're there trying to prove to the whole world you have all this going on, you're not doing anything. You're not working on your craft. You're not growing. You're not reinvesting. I think that's the biggest thing people fail to do, especially when they run into low money, is reinvesting the money because it goes out into the air, trying to impress everyone, you know?
You know, something I'm really sitting down and meditate though is it might sound weird because I'm I put a fire upon idealism, you know. But here's what me feel still. I'm really sitting down and meditate. You need, in order for really achieve your goal, you need some form of idealism in it, doing, you know? Because it can't just be only just realistic approaches to the whole situation. Because remember, you know, if you set a goal and set yourself, you know, so more want to earn, more want what I'm gonna call it a return on your investment, more want a return of $10,000 for every investment I'm make. It not necessarily realistic straight through, you know. But it's just that when you put a expectation of 10 grand, so you know, that's what I want to get to. But then every investment where you make, you start realize that 2 grand, you make 2 grand, and the 10 grand still seem far fetched, you know. So it's an idealistic state, you know, but the mind as a hustler, as a person who have ambition, I feel like some idealism have in the mix in order for you strive. And it's okay to have that idealism if you are a person who work towards a reality. So but at the part, I kind of put a spin to the whole concept of putting a fire burn by idealism, but only if you have actions towards it, and then we can feel like, all right, you can expound upon that, and in your head, you can say, no, so this I want to get to $1 million a year, and you know, say 50,000 I make a year, but just the drive and the thought process of having that $1 million a year now, it really gives you motivation, even if you know it's all right, it's not nothing within the near future, but it does give you a drive beyond that, and it not stop you from, or you not sidetrack due to the idealistic state then, you know? But it just gives you something in your brain to say, no, so this is what I want to get to, and you keep it going. Because remember, life is not one little nice smooth road where things go straight till and then you just die and then it passes on to generation. And it's not. Remember I said the world over there is a conquering world, you know, where empires conquer other empires and all of these things, you know, white supremacy and all of these things come for us, beat it down, and all of them fascism in a different formats, in even a financial formats. So we can't feel like it's a straight smooth road. We know that. But that's a thought process. You always are gonna need something to keep it up. I'm gonna feel like having a small bit of idealism in your thought process, as long as you're an active person. I mean, I think nothing really wrong with it, as long as you know overdo it still, you know.
Reality meds. The only issue with that, sometimes that get to delusion.
Yeah, that's the borderline. They say, yeah.
Because you brought up a great point in regards to being proactive. So if the goal is say 50 grand, right? Your goal is to make 50 grand every 3 months or every month, whatever. The fact that you started and actually did something that's generating money to 2 grand, you're ahead of, you're doing something that most people aren't doing. So you yourself are just a different person to start with. But what happens is now people just sit and they're reasoning and they're reasoning and they're reasoning. Some praying, some hoping. They never do nothing. So it's just like, you get what I'm saying? You can talk all you want to. You can look at boards. You could go vision and stuff. You go walk. You could meditate, everything else. But if you're not out there putting the work, because the work is compound, because the more work you do, the more mistakes you're going to get. The more you're going to learn, the more skills you're going to have. So it's just a process you can't avoid. But I'm telling you, people, I learned it with kids and I learned this with adults, they can't deal with things not working out. And if you're a person who could deal with things not working out, you are like, have unlimited potential. If you can absorb, like you putting your effort in everything and it not working out, you have unlimited potential because you're different from the average human being. Human beings love certainty. If it's not a certain, that's why most people in academics, fire is not a complicated equation. First of all, you got a group of people that can't do the academics. They can't even, they don't have no consistency, just go to school every day or something. But those who do, it's that certainty. You know what? At the end of the day, if I get this paper fire, I get some type of job, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with getting paid every 2 weeks. I can't deal with me mentally. I cannot deal with not knowing when I'm gonna get paid because there now is a different type of hustle you want. More money management. You get what I'm saying? Things you may have to do without for a man don't want to deal with that. Yeah. Even though it may be a better situation for him and his family long term, he don't want to deal with that. So he'll sit there and just take that every 2 weeks. You pre it. So it's like the person that can do these things is not the normal person. For the normal person, I would tell them, yo, you would really have to start and just have an idea and actually sell something, sell a service and make a $200 and be very proud of it. Don't compare yourself to no one else and try to turn that 2 to 4. And it's a constant turnover. I think what happens too many times is what you were saying earlier with the idealism, which I would call delusion to a certain extent. They have their mindset on the 10 grand. Fire friend, they don't get the 10 grand, they're not doing it again, yeah. That done. And it's like because a lack of knowledge and lack of processes and things operate, it's kind of unrealistic approach. Now you can still have the 10 grand, but you have to work towards the 10 grand. Why can't we say I don't have enough skill set to generate the 10 grand? I have enough skill set to generate 100. So I have to work on and figure out what I need to do to get to 300, to get to 1,000. And if I continue, I will get to the 10 grand. And that's where the thing is. And some people may get to the 5 grand and just be like, man, I'm burnt out, or get to the 7 and be like, man, I'm cool with this. And some people that's like, I'm not saying it's healthy. You know, the amount of work you may have to do to get to the 10 grand may not be the healthiest thing to do. It may not be good for your mental state, your relationships, your physical health, your spiritual health. But hey, if you want to do it, you can do it. That's what we need to reason about too, Fire. Like the correlation between certain occupations, ambitions, and your spiritual, mental health, and your family health. Because everybody want all these things, but they don't want what comes with it. They want everything. They want the whole cake, and it don't work like that. Fire. It just doesn't work. Everything has to be a sacrifice. If you're putting all your time into this, you can't put time into this. It just don't work. You're a human being, Fire. It's just like it doesn't work. So if I'm working, if I wake up at 7 and don't get home till 11, right, and I don't see my daughter for weeks on weeks, and on the weekends I'm gone, I really doubt we're gonna have a good relationship, yeah. Because I personally just didn't put in that time. It just, how do we get around it? Yeah, I could buy her stuff. I could take her on a trip, which is cool, but that won't substitute for the time. And if I want a good relationship with her, I would have to spend time with her like anything else. You want a good career, right? Or you want to be good at your craft, so you spend time with it. But we don't have that same idea with human beings, or your empress or something, this and that. You know, so it's like it's a real disconnect in regards to the world. It's a double standard in regards to laws. So it's like, all right, I want to do good at this. You want to be a great artist, right? So you spend a certain amount of time in the studio. But then you don't spend no time with your people, then you shock why they're not dealing with you. But you ain't spend no time, you ain't put no work into the thing. You know, so the thing kind of backwards tell you the truth. And I'm just saying, I'm not telling a person what to do with your life, right? But obviously there is a balance, but just understand you're not gonna be at the top of the mountain of both things. It just can't work.
And the last advice, more, what I really want to give people who like to play it safe but want financial freedom. I feel like if you want financial freedom, but you want to play it safe, like you're a 9 to 5 mindset person, you try to figure out, oh, yeah, I gotta get towards this full financial freedom, but you don't want, hey, come out of the 9 to 5 world. You have safe investments. So is you have only a safe investment or you can make it, but I just feel like say if in a 9 to 5 world, don't try an unsafe investment if you as a person know that is not your type of mindset. So for example, if you in a corporation and you tell yourself, you're afraid to come out of the realm of like this every paycheck every 2 weeks. Here we do now, you have amount of money where you put towards a particular saving, if you want to call it savings or investment, because I feel like savings, that thing most people just call it, because the way most safe people call it saving, because safe people rather save than invest. So if you have a particular amount of money, what about thinking about some form of investment we can get the surety for like a property, and then you say, you invest in our property. In order for you invest in our property, you need to have a 30,000 down payment. So, you know, so based off of you being in that safe 9 to 5 realm, paycheck every 2 weeks, you can reach 30,000 by 2 years time. And by reaching that 30,000 in 2 years time, you can pay down on a property, down payment, whatever, and then you can rent that property. And you know, so when renting, that rent is also a figure where it now got change based on that. But see, as I say, so safe investment in your particular ways, which you still have a goal in mind, you still have a vision, you still get to be in a safety net, but you still have an investment where you can move towards, so the property that can start turning over itself in a safe manner. Everything that must smooth, but it's more of a safe bet. Don't try to go out on the edge if you know, so you got scared. It now go work. So yeah, so you have two, you know, balance the thing.
No, reality. Reality demands, and yeah, it's just like, you know, so, fire. We have to do something. That's the thing, though, too. Like, just the one income not gonna work, because it's kind of tricky, fire, because you're solely dependent on one income. It don't make no sense. It's not even a rational behavior when you think about it. We say it out loud. What they say, all your eggs in one basket, because anything happen with these people, fire, you don't have no money coming in. And it don't make sense. Everyone out there is talented and great within themselves. It's for them to tap into that and work on their craft and build up themselves. But you have a talent that can generate money. You have a skill that can generate money. Shoot, maybe what you're doing at your job now, you could do a little something on the side in a different aspect. You know, but everyone has a skill. Now, you may not nurture it and work on it. You may not believe it, but it is there. I don't know what childhood experience you had or what trauma is going on, but sometimes you got to conquer that and just tap into your greatness. And I know everyone on earth is great, unique, and special. Can't no man tell me nothing different, fire. Yes, circumstances may move you away from that greatness, blind you to it, but every human being on earth is great and special. I have greatness inside of them, you know, especially in our society, our economy. People can say what they want about America, but at the end of the day, fire, you go eat some food if you want to. Legal food too, you know, so it's for you to get out there and get on the hustle and do your thing. But in regards to the financial freedom, you're not gonna be on a beach sipping on Mai Tais or what they call it, whatever they call it, pina coladas or whatever. No, because the more stuff you have, the more responsibility you're gonna have. You know, now you could definitely put yourself in a situation where you have options and you're no longer dependent on a 9 to 5. And if you have a 9 to 5, you could be. If I know people with 9 to 5. You think some people out here easy stuff. Some people next to you on their 9 to 5 and they're good financially, got a lot of money coming in from different places. And they drive up in their little car and have their little spot. That's the position you want to be. I'm telling you, you need that money coming in from north, south, east, and west as an American fan. But the money coming from north and that blow away a storm, you're in problems, yo. You're in big problems too. And next thing I can say too is that, all right, majority of people not in a position to save money. That's just the reality of our environment, right? So you yourself, some people gone too far because you have just too many kids, not enough time, not enough skills. This is for the younger crew listening. You want to work on your skills. Easy on the partying and easy on certain practices you're doing. The watching the TV, the video games, and anything else you're doing with your idle time. Sit down and really get extremely good at a thing. Because from you have that fire, you're good. You either someone can pay you to exploit your talents, or you can exploit your talents yourself. But you need to be in a position to have something to generate some income. You have the brain power, right? We have all the resources here. You don't need no great big budget. Learn skills, fire. Learn skills. Get into some coding, get into some SEO, get into some trading. There's so many things you could do that doesn't take any great investment. You don't need a degree. You just need to be extremely good at it. And as long as you're good at it, you either going to generate the money or somebody going to pay you for it. You can't go around the thing. Even if you're going to school, hey, degree not going to save your life. There's millions of graduates every year, is but so many jobs. So just put that out there. And the debt that you have based on the income you're going to get fired, it ain't gonna help you with nothing. So
After it facts it
you know,
realistic because some
yeah,
job some requirement we see the man them have for some of them job the way and I'm tell us you need a master's degree and and I say wait, them people are serious.
they're
At
very
them
serious
cast.
fire.
Yeah,
And them
I
jobs
say
are
that's
50
still
grand with 3 years experience, right? So that don't
yeah.
add up. So you telling me you need a 4 year degree, right? Then you need the masters and you still need work experience to clock in 50 grand and work all day fire. That don't add up.
You're mad. A joke thing for
And
you.
I will say this. From you an ambitious person, the next thing you can't be an agreeable person, fire. Don't try to be a Mr. Nice Guy, fire. You gotta have a sense of militancy when you're moving out here. But and not ignorance. I ain't talking about a rebel without a cause, but don't be all just flaky around people. But people don't really like that too tough. They think they like it, but they don't like it. They respect the militancy. But a person with no degree in skills can easily make. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not telling you to go sit in your house and waste time. I'm talking about you really got to get on your grind and be very talented at something, network, do your thing. But a person with no degree and skills can make way more than a person with a degree without mastering a particular craft. Reason being that the person with a degree doesn't have any skills. They just have the degree. They just went to a filter that said that, hey, they'll sit down and listen to information. And to a certain point, they could kind of like, follow a task, but they don't have a specific skill. They don't have a skill that could generate money. That's one of the coolest things about college, right? When you graduate college, you don't have no skill to earn no money outside of asking for a job, in which on that job, they'll teach you how to do a specific job or a specific task of the job, which you'll be compensated for. But you don't have no skill for you don't know how to earn no money. You don't know how to go out there and hustle and do this and that to generate no money. And those are things you can really learn on your own, if the truth be told. And that's the way to get to financial freedom in the sense that you have options, you have money to invest, you can absorb. I think the highest form of financial freedom is being able to absorb the hard times. Your ship is so strong you can get through the storms. I think that is the height of financial freedom. Not being able to buy champagne, buy a Rolex or this and that. You know what financial freedom is? COVID took place and you're still good. Everybody balling for Christ and this and that, you're good. Nothing has changed. Maybe the money from the East wasn't coming as much, but that money's still coming from the West. And that money's still coming from the North. Even if the stuff slow down, the West and the North still hold you down. Then it start to pick up where money coming back again, or you find something new to replace what's coming from the East. That's financial freedom. Fire, I really don't want to live here. I want to live somewhere else. That's financial freedom. I need tutoring for my kid, yo. That's financial freedom. Health issue come up. I could get proper care, the best care. I want to go on a little vacation. That's financial freedom. I'm not talking about slapping on your credit card. Now, if you want to
Yeah,
get points,
access to
yeah.
resources, man.
If you want to put it on your credit card to get points and paid off, I'm not talking about putting on your credit card so you look like you got financial freedom. That's financial freedom. We need to redefine financial freedom, and you can put yourself in that situation. So, if I ever know where this reasoning went, I like the reasoning still. I hope people enjoyed it. But in all reality, prices of things are rising, right? So you have a couple of options. Some people not even positioned to reduce anything because they already been at death door already. So my heart go out to you still, right? And hopefully you can still some things in your kids. And if you're in a position to learn a skill, generate money, please do. Those who kind of younger, you gotta budget your money, live within your means, right? Don't live without your means. You get what I'm saying? Don't try to just put yourself under financial pressure to impress people. Please don't, because you need the bread, right? Don't be scared. Go out there and do certain things because everything is a learning lesson. If you get a lick, if you make some bread, reinvest it in yourself. If you want to enjoy all 2-3% of it, depending on what you're making, spurge, do your thing. But that 97% should be reinvested in what you're doing, constantly put back into yourself, fire. And you're gonna see everything on the heights.
So for the people them what I mentioned who can't even save or nothing, when me you would have said to them type of people we feel like them get left out of the reasoning because most time when type of person a drastic situation and think them can't even save a dollar because them have so much youth and them have so much different responsibilities, them then for ear investment and it's like them block it out. What I say still is that lifestyle changes apply to you even more as in that particular situation and think about the environment where you want to be in. I feel like anybody in the situation, that is the most important component towards your development. Care for the environment and start thinking about what type of mindset changes you can go about, or you cut back on even certain expenses. So I mean say anything you talk about, if you're strapped for cash and you're on this tight budget for a paycheck, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have youth and all of these things, make sure you see your mindset right, the environment. Because sometimes the environment, the shift in the environment can change certain things. So you see, if you're on a particular work ground and you see the person, there's a person who can help you towards the development, maybe that is a person who you're supposed to go towards to get some advice or go towards to develop your financial stability, because the person that might have a link towards this or that. So because remember, now, connections around the world, if you put yourself in a position to make sure that things can happen for you, it will start happening. Even if you not see it, just the whole mindset shift towards the thing and change the environment, that can start lead you towards not financial freedom immediately, but the concept of financial freedom become a more realistic type of approach,
And fire, we need to do a reason on family planning. I think that's a big thing that with the finances, because a person with kids can't compete with a person without kids, right? It don't work unless the kids are totally neglected, especially in these times too, because most people kind of isolated with their family. It's not no grandmother, aunt. There's no extra hands. So it's like the thing kind of, we need to talk about that in regards to like really, really dealing with certain stuff before you reproduce, and the importance of who you reproduced with too, because sometimes we see certain signs, but we in denial. Then after the youth come now, it's pure problems and frustration, because if you try and deal with your finances properly, the person you with not trying to deal with the finances properly, if I a judgment, can't go around it, So, we give thanks for the reasons. Still, we give thanks for everyone who sat here and listened to us. Hopefully, you learned something, and it's just not about listening. Hopefully, you apply. Yes, it may be an uncomfortable conversation. It may be an uncomfortable conversation you need to have with yourself, but it's one that's needed if you want to progress. Now if you want to stay where you're staying at, continue to do what you're doing. But in order to move to different heights, you have to have uncomfortable conversations with yourself, and you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you're doing something different for a different outcome. Do remember all about Chant Down Baltimore, June 25th, live on stage. Freddie McGregor, Autarchii, Ibamar, Jerry Harris. Statement Band will be there. Also, Profile with the Nyabingi Sounds. Generation Gap there beating. Give thanks for everybody supporting them from those times. So now, tunes from the one Muda Baruka, Autarchii, Luton Fire, Emerald Tafari. Dub created by, mixed by, that is, Earl Jr., son of Earl Chinna Smith. Also, my Breakdown EP there in the description. As I stated before, make sure you purchase the EP and listen to it. There's enough word of sound on there. Fire, that EP lick, tell you the truth. I still listen to it. I can't lie to you. And I'm not telling this man, no, I'm not no man to go hype the man up because I deal with the man. Like, I'm a very truthful person, but it beats still, Many
yes,
rivers rise with the sun, pumps in pride. Yo, you know what? Slipping to my favorite. What's the Africa tune there?
Freedom in Africa.
Freedom in Africa fight. I have a nice little bounce there with the rhythm and wordplay, Yeah, we give thanks for that same way. So, all right. So there he is. We give thanks for everyone tuning in. Fire, share the podcast with some of your people too, because none of y'all listening, but we can spread the message and spread the word. If you feel it should be spread, you really support the thing. Make sure you share it with your brethren and sister. There's no profanity or craziness being spoken, so I'm pretty sure you can play it around the little ones or play it around the house so they can hear the sound, because it's teachings at the end of the day.
True.
And we're not telling you nothing that's going to lead you astray. You get what I'm saying? So, just play the thing and just, we don't worry about no subscription now. We just saying play the podcast so people can hear it, because they need to hear this message. That's why we do what we do, All right, then, Fire. So everyone stay safe.